Hey guys, it's Panic Knife here with theawfulgamer.com, and since you guys, watched the first video at least, I'll continue along with this series. Yeah, this is the same city. I played it a little bit. This reminds me of that meme where it's like, well, that escalated quickly from Anchorman, because, yeah, last time I left you, it was just a little tiny shanty town with a little bit of residential, a little bit of commercial, and a little bit of industrial. Now it's pretty much a megalopolis or something like that. At least as much as you can get in SimCity 5 here. I've got 135,000 people. I'm making quite a bit of money a week and all that. What ended up happening was I just zoned out the rest of the area, created some little interesting features in there, added a little bit of services because my other city couldn't completely handle the load, so I did add some stuff in here and just let it run. I mean, I managed to get into the servers last night at some point, so I let it run overnight. I know I'm that asshole that's probably taking up server capacity for somebody else, but yeah, so let me show you around the city a little bit, and then we will get into the purpose of this video, which is that I'm going to need to give my other city a bailout. So that's going to be fun. I'm going to redesign some stuff, and you'll see. But just walking you through the city here. Hold on a second. Fire. Hazmat fire is destroying city. Well, that's bad. Although I do believe I have hazmat firemen from my other city that should be able to handle that. Where is the hazmat fire, though? Oh, good times. So there's going to be a little bit of a thing right over here. That's fire marshal. Let's see. Where's the... I built hazmat fire in the other... Ruh-roh. Hold on a second here. Let's go ahead and go out to region view. This is actually a thing. When when you have hazmat fires, you need people that will... Or you need hazmat firemen, or else you're kind of screwed. So... You'll get the first look over here at Latex Valley, which is the city that we're going to be working on today. I'm not going to stay over there quite yet because I do want to walk you through what it did over here with Some Awful City. But this is actually going to be the focus of our little tutorial here today. Not really tutorial. I don't know what I'm saying. Of our focus of our video today anyway. This is my other city, this is the first city I created, which was Latex City, because it's going to be a high-tech city. But the reason I came over here right now is just to offer my other city here some hazmat firemen, because that's kind of a big deal. So let's look over here. Hazmat truck, offer them too. And then we'll go back over here for just a little bit anyway. So yeah, the servers are working a lot better today anyway. Switching cities was pretty precarious in previous days. Today it seems to be working pretty well, so I'm not too concerned. Before I'd be concerned that it would drop me out of the game and I wouldn't be able to continue on. And I'm hoping, I'm really, really hoping that they come over here and help out on that fire. Because otherwise it's going to probably blow up this building and several others around it. So as I said before, I'm focusing on building the great work, and the reason is because if you check out my population panel, no, I guess it didn't show it out. My population has a lot more homeless people than I'd like. So if you check out the detail, 36 homeless to 35. It's not a huge number if you look at it just in terms of how many raw numbers there are, but that's a lot more than I have in other cities, and that is because I don't have a lot of residential. That's, of course, a relative thing, because if you look at my panel here, this entire half of the city, or a third of the city, is residential, and plus the top portion right here. So I have a lot of residential, but it's not enough. It can't drive residential for the entire region. It can't, sustain this big of an industrial area, this big of a commercial area. So I'm going to build the arcology great work, which is over here. It requires metal, alloy, and TVs. Now the TVs is going to be the difficult part. Metal and alloy, it's just going to come from me doing the standard recycling and stuff like that. But it's going to be tough to build those TVs without some sort of a tech sector. And the other city, which is Latex Valley, does have a tech sector. The problem is that it's not producing tech fast enough to expand the industry. And I'm going to create sort of a really rebuild the city over there and try to figure out how to accommodate that kind of an industry. So that's what we're gonna do as well. But I just wanted to walk you through what I did over here. Like I said, like you just saw the grid that I just created. That it was based on what we did before in the previous day, and a lot of this is just letting it grow. But so I have some schools over here. This school is brand new. It's because this school was filled. 550 is kind of a low number, but that's as much as you can expand a grade school. So I have 2 of those. I built a trade port to deliver freight from over here because I noticed that some of the industrial buildings were kind of shutting down because of the fact that they couldn't ship their freight anywhere because they didn't have enough commercial. It's kind of one of those tough balance things, but if you have trade ports and trade posts, they will hold the freight for as long as they need. And the port is a lot larger than each of the individual trade posts, so I built one of those. Plus, I mean, I have a rail here, so why not, right? I also built on that vein a passenger rail station, which actually, if you take a look at how screwy the roads are right there, that's because of the fact that there's a passenger rail station. There's not actually been any kind of big traffic jams up there, though, so it's not a big deal. So in addition to that, I have some pretty nice... Oh, the city hall's over here, but I have some pretty nice infrastructure with streetcars. This entire thing is a streetcar city. And... Okay, there's a high school, actually. I'm looking for the other thing. Damn it. I have 3 streetcar stations, stops going up and down these avenues here. I don't know why the buses aren't getting out there. I have tons of buses, but the real centerpiece of my city here, though, is my university. So I'm researching things for the entire region. This thing has increased my my tech level quite a bit, and now most of the industry here is, it's not clean, but it's high wealth, high density. So we're talking more factories than anything else. Let's see if that thing burned down for me. Still burning. That's not too good. I guess we'll see if that's gonna be a big deal. But yeah. So the rest of the city, that's the kind of interesting stuff. I have another school over there. Yet another school, but that's okay. Three schools you'd think would be enough, especially with the number of buses I have, but no big deal. Trading HQ here, 150K daily profit. The reason is because I'm building, or I've got depots for alloy, plastic, and metal coming from right over here. I have a big recycling plant. Now, I know that the initial point of the city was actually to recycle the stuff from the other city, but it wasn't even close to the capacity because this city is actually a lot bigger than the other city, even though I had no intention of making it that much bigger. I also intended to use a actual garbage dump of my own here, but I noticed that we had so much trash that the other city actually was overflowing with trash, so that's kind of a big deal, and therefore I went ahead and built a dump, and that's about that. So looks pretty sweet if you think about it. I mean, this game is gorgeous when you really get past all the technical issues and all the frustration people have with it. I mean, just look at the detail of the art and, the city working without you even really interfering. I mean, it's really sweet. I'm a big fan of this game. But anyway, yeah, let's go ahead and let's look at the task at hand. 11 million, by the way. 11 million. So, Latex Valley was my original city, and it quickly made quite a bit of money. I mean, I'm talking, it made, a good 2-3 million in the first, I'd say, couple of hours that I was working on it. It started out, and I'll show you a couple of the little features of this one. Started out with mining ore and that sort of stuff, and as you can see, with all the ground pollution over here, that's pretty much what ends up happening. But what I wanted to do with it is I wanted to eventually create a high-tech industry, and I started out with mining, and this used to be dark red over here. So I kind of was reaching the end of the usefulness of raw materials and that sort of stuff, and I moved up to a smelting factory right here. The smelting factories, they produce the metal and alloy, the same sort of things that recycling does, but a little bit more consistent. So as you can see, we've got a water pumping station, sewage treatment plant, recycling centers. I've actually got 3 of them. So I've got one right there, one right there, and one right here. Actually, that's a processor factory. One right there. Okay, so I might actually end up just explaining this and we'll start to attack it in the next video, because of the fact that I actually want to let these run a little while, just because they already have almost full of these recyclables and stuff like that. I gifted myself $1 million for this project though, so I hope $1 million is going to be enough. But yeah, I've got the processing factories, I've got the recycling centers, trade depots. I've got all kinds of stuff working out, but I can still only make $603,000 profit off of my processors every day. I don't want to be producing raw ore anymore, so I actually have one of these raw ore and coal, which is going to help us to produce the metal and alloy we need for this project. So the issue is that if you, and don't actually worry about this this road right here that isn't connected. That's not the reason why we're having issues. The reason why we're having issues is because the transportation in the middle of my city is shit, and that is making it so that the supply lines don't get out quick enough, and we have tons of issues with with supplies and deliveries not getting out on time, and the recycling plants aren't always producing alloy and plastic fast enough to let the processor factory do their thing, and that's making it so that I'm not making a huge profit off of this stuff like I should be, and I can't advance towards the TVs and computers that will be, number one, they'll be more profitable, and number two, they'll make it so that I can actually finish the arcology and fix the population problem I have in my area. So that's the issue in a nutshell. I have, if just taking a look at the city, there's a lot of residential, not very much commercial, so they actually commuted over to my other city. Little tiny bit of residential. What I'm going to do, though, I want to create a closed loop. So, I mean, this is just an idea. It could end up going horribly wrong, but luckily my other city is a sugar daddy for this one. So that other city, the Some Awful City, is actually quite self-sustaining. Like I said, I left it overnight. It went fine, and I'm leaving it on cheetah speed or whatever is the equivalent of it now, considering they just disabled it for server reasons. But this city isn't self-sustaining, and it's got problems. So I want to create a closed loop. I think that what's going to be the problem, though, is that when I delete roads and stuff like that, I'm going to have to delete services. So that's why I need so much money, because I'm going to need to replace a lot of that. Now, with the closed loop, what I'm going to want to do is I'm going to want to have a trade depot that has, that receives deliveries of raw ore and coal, so that he can deliver straight to the smelting plant. The smelting plant will produce metal and alloy, and I also will have at least one recycling center in that closed loop. They'll produce all the metal and alloy, deliver it directly to the processor factory. Right here. This is one of my processor factories right there. Then the processor factory will deliver it out to the highway. Now, I want that all to be a closed loop, because I don't want to have to worry about, sending materials from one place to another, putting it in a trade depot, queuing it up, that sort of thing. I just want them to process those processors. That's a weird way to put it, but process my stuff, get the hell out of my city, and make me profit. And, if I can create higher capacity within that same closed loop, great. If I can't, whatever, right? So I think part of my strategy for that is I'm going to utilize my trade ports. These, of course, have much larger, they can receive much larger shipments of freight, of metal, of alloy, of all those things. I can already create the add-ons here for raw ore, for metal, alloy, that sort of stuff. So I think what I'm going to do is utilize that as a mechanism. It would be much easier if I could send out my processors that way, but so far I can't. And that's one of the goals of what I want to do. Now, as you can see, look at this. I have issues with traffic all over the place. So creating this closed loop should keep people out. One of my expenses that I'm going to have, though, is that this university is going to have to move, because I want this stuff. I want all this stuff up here. And if you take a look, I think what I'm going to do is just zone out the rest of this industrial. After all, I mean, look at my other city. It has industrial that unfilled jobs, all kinds of stuff. They have a residential problem over there. My people can just commute over there, So I think that's going to be what I do. And yeah, that's pretty much what well, I'm going to agree to create a space center even though I don't want to. But that's pretty much what I'm going to do. I'm going to create a closed loop over here, and then we're going to hope that it boosts the electronics of the city enough that it will do it. That I'll be able to continue to construct the arcology. So that is the task ahead of us, and I'm going to be, hopefully if you guys continue to watch, I'm going to be continuing to work on that project in the long run. Now let's go over here and see if they ever put out that fire. Just because I know people like disasters and that sort of stuff, so let's go ahead and check it out, and we'll end with whether my firefighters from the other city are able to take that hazmat fire down or not. So yeah, I am, just the little challenges that you create for yourself in this game. It's really fascinating. I wish the scale was a little bit larger. I wish that we had bigger maps. I wish that we had, the ability to move, if not that, then at least to move within plots without loading screens, that each of the cities was working together a little bit closer in real time. But it's that we're just nitpicking at that point. I still think that this game is extremely fun. I think that obviously this city built up pretty quickly because I was able to boost it with a gift from the other city, which is funny because now the money is going back the other way. But that's kind of how things go, I suppose, in this game. So it's now some awful city is now sugar daddying for Latex Valley. So that's just how things go. All right, so I actually snipped a little bit there just because of the loading screen of Doom. It took a long time to get through there. So let's go ahead and look at this fire. Where is the fire, you might ask? Well, we hear a fire. This is I believe my police helicopter, or my helicopter there. News helicopter. From the region. So let's go ahead and time lapse this, and we'll see what happens in Panopticon privacy factors. Oh shit! Look, there appears to be a hazmat fire truck that has made it over here. So we'll see if they're able to take down this fire. So sad, so sad. So everybody was hoping for my city to go up in flames. It looks like my hazmat firemen have done the trick. So no disasters for you today, everybody. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I definitely have a lot of work ahead for me. So with theawfulgamer.com, this is your boy Panic Knife. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and have a good night.